whatever false narrative they have of you. Guys, I get it. And we work on this in the coaching sessions. Call me, book me for coaching. This is what we work on. You have to let people walk around this earth with a totally false narrative of you. Why would you care? Why would you care what someone that you don't even respect thinks about you? Why would you care what someone that doesn't even respect you? Why would you care what they think? This is what we work on in the coaching. Book me. I really will break you of this habit. But that is what I always say. The truth should never need a champion. Yes, let people walk around with whatever false narrative. As such, I live by that. Sarah's like, oh, you have to clap back at this one, this piece of trash, Kelly Dodd. First of all, you never clap down. And by the way, guys, jealousy never comes from above. It always comes from below. You never clap back. It's just a waste. So truth should never need a champion. I refuse to stoke a fire I did not ignite. Oh, you go, PK. This is good. The Dorit I married would never have allowed this, much less caused it. So he's implying she changed. That woman embodied kindness, integrity, and grace. I can only hope this version of Dorit finds her way back to the person she once was. Well, no shade, Dorit, but she ain't finding her way back to nothing. Dorit is in heaven. She's in heaven. And then we have flashbacks and he's crying. This is just what Kyle was saying. Dorit has changed. Look, I don't even blame her for changing. You know who says this? Catherine Edwards says this. If you are a certain person without fame and without money, those things will just exacerbate it. If you're a kind, nice person and you become famous or whatever, it doesn't change you. It really, truly doesn't. A lot of people think I changed from doing this podcast over 6 years. I haven't changed. I'm just busier than I was the prior 4 years before it. Or 2 years. So I'm just less available to listen to someone's bullshit because I'm working all the time. But I would never change. I would never change. So it seems that Dorit has changed. I mean, she's loving this first seat. She does make me laugh. Seems like PK and Kyle share a lot more in common over those texts because they're both saying the same thing. I think PK's statement was excellent. He's implying that fame changed her. Andy calls it out. He says part of your shtick is the clothes and the glam, and you love it. She does love it. She loves it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, this is why I'm single and will die alone, right? Um, it's why Paige is going to be so happy. The podcast tour will continue. She has a new career opportunity. She's this, she's that. There's nothing wrong with that. You'll date a guy here for 6 years. Great. Go and conquer the world. I don't think look, you could have both if you marry the right person. A lot of times the two trains don't meet, right? And, you like don't have both. And, it is what it is. Craig will meet a nice girl and settle down. So you changed your read. It was probably always in you. You love the glam. You love this. It's who you are. Go and fly. Don't let anyone clip your wings. So then they ask, when have you last talked to PK? How long has he been sober? Now, she's not answering this, which implies that he's not sober. Now, he doesn't have to be sober. When I saw him, granted, that was in September. That was in September that I hung out with PK and Boy George. So the night I hung out with PK and Boy George in September, I can tell you he didn't drink a fucking thing. At the end of the night, when we were having pizzas and burgers and fries, all on PK, very lovely. I had I think 2 more martinis. I had to get a flight home from Florida the next morning. I didn't even sleep. PK was having mock espresso martinis. I think I had an espresso martini. Always good for the end of the night, 1 or 2 espresso martinis if you have to stay up. He was having a mock espresso martini, and I don't even know what's in that. I think fucking chocolate milk, but I had vodka in my espresso martini, and it was good. PK didn't drink the night I hung out with him, but that was September. A lot could happen. So here's the thing. If he And she's saying, well, I asked, and he says, I'm not going to share that with you. Now, if all this is true, That's one thing, but it's a really, here we go again, Dorit, and we'll get into that. It's just like the shady Garcelle. And I have a problem with your queen. Everyone loves Garcelle. I got a problem with her with this home invasion, but this is really, if he's not saying these things to you, Jory, you're certainly implying that he's fucking fallen off the wagon and he's drinking. So it's a really strange narrative to go down if that's not the case, right? Okay, well, Sutton, and she's caught in the middle, and she says she's worried for herself, and oh God. I mean, she's sitting there and she's worried. And Sutton then says she's worried for herself at the reunion, but she also says that she's worried for all women. And good for Dorit for not letting her off the hook. She's like, you would have to care about me to be worried about me, and you don't give a shit about me. So Sutton's like, I'm worried about all women, and Dorit is laughing. It's kind of funny. Then she says, is your house in foreclosure? And then Andy speaks up, and everyone online thinks it's and blah blah blah. But she says something about pre-foreclosure, and she says, well, let me tell you about PK. We had a new rate, which I mean, most mortgages like are locked in for a certain period of time. And after that time, there's a new rate. Usually it's 10 years, guys, which I mean, just based on the fact that she used to live in a different house and they haven't been in this house for 10 years. I don't even know how they could have a new rate this soon, but there are different types of mortgages for everyone. Just traditionally, I've always seen it for 10 years. But anyway, that's really neither here nor there. But she implied that it's a new rate, and PK wanted to know about the new rate, and basically he does not pay, unless you call him back, and the bank was not calling him back, and that is why he did not pay it. Well, I gotta say, I mean, I wish I'm kind of the same way. If I have a question about something, you better fucking call me back. And I'm not focusing on this until you call me back. But I'm also not one to just miss payments. And by the way, that's all fine. But all that takes like missing like one payment. I don't think, I mean, you don't get into like pre foreclosure from missing like one payment. So anyway, I don't know if that story adds up. I'm in the weeds. Um, but there you go. And where else can we go from this? So Bose has had a good season, and I love, yes, I do. Listen, I have very mixed feelings about Garcelle, and then we'll get into some real world stuff that's going on. I have very mixed feelings about Garcelle because I do love that when Bose met her, and this really is the advice I would give any first year housewife. I love that Bose got together with Garcelle, and Bose